John, it is interesting what Darren said there, because cynical old me thinks that the unravelling of this plan was so predictable, it was evidently priced in, and it kind of amounts to a bit of a PR stunt, by my view anyway. But how is this playing with the public? Are people very supportive of the plan, or are people starting to sort of see through it and getting frustrated by the fact that so far nothing's happened?
Well, as Darren was referring to there, we've had one poll conducted in the last couple of days by YouGov. And in addressing the issue, they actually asked the same question that they asked immediately after the policy was first announced in the middle of April. Now, actually, in the middle of April, YouGov found slightly more people saying they were opposed than in favour. It was 35% in favour, 42% opposed. Though I should say that other polling, for example, by Savanta Comres, at that time with differently worded questions, did have more people in favour. Anyway, YouGov went back a couple of days ago and now found a small balance in favour, 44% in favour, 40% opposed. So the government seems to have made some progress in persuading the public of the merits of what it's doing. And in fact, what becomes very clear if you compare the two YouGov polls, it is Conservative supporters, those who voted for the Conservatives back in 2019, who are particularly now swung in behind the policy. Labour voters were opposed back in April, and they're just as opposed as they are now. So insofar as one of the things this government body needs to do if it's going to get itself back up in the polls is to regain some of the support of some of those who voted for the Conservatives in 2019, maybe this issue will help. But of course, there's also a difficult backcloth to some of this. Why is the government having to pursue this policy? Well, because of the publicity that's been attracted by the relatively high number of people coming across in boats across the English Channel. Why is that a problem? Well, in part, of course, because this is a government that's meant to be trying to control immigration in the post-Brexit world, and particularly above all, it's meant to be controlling Britain's borders. And therefore, the problem about the Channel crossings is it does raise questions about that broader objective. So I think in the end, Alex, I would probably slightly disagree with you. I think in the end, if the government's going to gain much political credit for this policy, at some point it's going to have to be seen to work, both in the sense of it eventually being demonstrated to be legal, and the legal case on that will be heard next month, but also that it does actually result in a reduction in the number of people who try to cross the Channel. And the truth is, at the moment, I don't think there's any guarantee that either aspect will work, equally no guarantee that it won't work. But the Home Office itself has admitted it actually hasn't done any modelling to indicate what it thinks the impact of the policy will be.